עברו 3 שבועות.
זה תכף ינואר, כן.
זהו, היום זה הפרק האחרון.
כן, 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 היום תגיד ויקרא. כן, זה חתיכת ספר, הספר הזה.
אתגר לא פשוט, אתגר לא פשוט.
כן, אני מתפלאת שנשארו תלמידים.
לא שההתחלה של ספר במדבר היא יותר קלה, היא גם קצת יבשה, אבל עדיין.
אפשר לא להוציא, זה פחות קורבנות ופחות כהנים.
כן, כן.
אפשר להוציא מזה משהו.
כן, יופי, את תהיה ההוסט עכשיו, כן. הנה, יופי.
בסדר.
יופי.
זה מקליט. ואני יכולה לשתף את זה שלי.
בסדר גמור, יופי. מצוין.
תודה רבה.
בבקשה. יופי. טוב, שיהיה בהצלחה. ביי ביי. ביי ביי.
Shalom.
Oh, shalom.
Hello. Hello.
I'm Gershom's sister.
I know. I can see your name, Ruth Levo, and I'm Ora. I'm Ora.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
It's 9:30 in the morning here.
Yeah.
I can't stay too long because I have an appointment to take my dogs to their veterinary appointment. So I
think, no problem. I think I can see an ear behind you. One ear.
Oh, at least one ear. Yes, I have 2 dogs and 2 cats.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, we are also pet lovers. I have 1 dog and 2 cats.
Wonderful. That's nice. So how did you get to get this class together?
Yeah. Well, it started in a Gershom.
I know.
Very nice.
I know you.
The 2 yuccas come early.
Yes, this is quite likely. Yes.
I was just asking Ora how she got to teach this class.
Actually, it started really in just in kind of to try this, and I gave a class in the synagogue, and people loved it, and then I gave another one, and it started like, and then I started a class in Hebrew. And after a few months, I said, okay, so I have the material, and people are interested, and there are lots of English speakers in Haifa, in both congregations. In our class, we have people from 2 congregations and from other. I mean, not from any congregation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is how it continues. Very nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Sure. Yeah, it's very nice to have you with us because it's now it's like Gershom told me. Now it's international. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Now you can say.
You will have to arrange the hour differences and all that. The Wendy, the Yuda.
Ruth, if a woman named Jeannie Schaefer joins also, that's another friend of mine I don't think you've met.
Jeannie?
From here in the neighborhood. So she's not part of either congregation, but just I talked about the class, so she joined.
Great. Shalom, Wendy. Shalom, Lynn. Good to see you.
Hi, nice to see everyone. Lovely to see everyone.
We have a special guest today. We have
I'm just about to.
Gershom's sister.
Oh, Gershom's sister.
From where in the States? Shalom, Yuda.
California.
California.
Oh, Ruth.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome, exactly.
Welcome.
תודה רבה.
I
How is
thought
your-
I was going to make a joke when you said special guest. I was
about you.
who's
Yeah.
this? You know,
Almost.
hello, Kim.
Yeah, Shalom Yuda, מה נשמע? How are you?
בסדר, בסדר. I'm
Hello.
all right.
Good to see you.
Shula and I have been in Bidut for a
Yeah.
while.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Now it's over. Now we are
But
helping again.
because you came, Bidut, because you came back from abroad or because you were sick?
No, we have been a bit sick. Shula more than me, but now it's all right. We had some fever
Very
and
good.
headaches and so on, but not so serious. Not so serious.
So you are vaccinated anyway.
3 times, yes, 3 times.
No, I mean, but also by the yeah. Good that you, yeah, that you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Oh,
Oh, what happens?
just a minute.
Talking about the corona is like talking about the Bible.
Yeah, why is this?
Very many different versions and dilemmas
Ah,
and interpretations, controversies.
Yeah.
Shalom Yossi, Shalom Emma. Emma is still connected.
You know, we used to say when we met friends, right, 5 minutes about health, 5 minutes about grandchildren, that's all.
Oh,
Now
that's,
we-
I thought you would say 5 minutes, 2 minutes about health and then 2 hours about health.
Corona, that's it.
Oh. Wendy, how are you? Yeah, we.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Glad you're keeping well. Glad everybody is keeping well.
yeah.
yes, yes.
It has been very, very cold.
Yes,
Late,
and colder than it was in the UK. And we
Yes.
came back from the UK knowing more people here that have corona than we did there.
Yeah.
Than in England, than in the UK. More people here that have corona. Lynn, I think your connection is not very stable.
Sorry?
By the way,
No,
can
you
hear
more
me?
people. Yeah.
But by the way, let me know if you can hear me well or not enough. Okay.
You're fine. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yes,
very good. Okay.
שומעים טוב.
Okay. Good. So normally,
Not very good. I'm trying to think of going into another place. But
yes, I
David,
think that your connection is not stable.
David, are you using?
So Ruth,
Move.
we have Gershom sister here. And you were in how is the corona in your neighborhood, or how is everything?
I think the numbers in California are high, but among the people I know, like in my congregation, I still don't know anybody personally who has corona.
Oh, nice. Wow, that's
Yeah.
because in Israel we were just talking about that. Almost everyone knows someone who is
Yes.
who has a corona or
Yeah, I know a lot of people with friends or relatives that have it, but so far, knock on.
Shalom Adina. Okay, I think we will wait 1 or 2 more minutes and then we will start. The class today might be a bit longer than usual, but we will see because we are finishing today the book of Leviticus, which is a big celebration, I think.
Yes.
I feel, I wanted to ask you about it actually. I feel it's an achievement because I don't know if there is a lot of a lot of מסגרות, a lot of places or
Frameworks or
frameworks, yes, נכון, תודה, that read really every verse, because when you read, of course we read it in every Shabbat, on every Shabbat, of course, in the synagogue, but we don't study it, and we just follow the one who reads. And if we study something from the Parsha, it is normally one or two or an issue or a subject from the Parsha, and that's it. We don't go in depth to all the verses. So it's really, this is also why it takes very long to finish one book.
Ora, there's a lot of background noise.
Yes, so I think we can start now. So please mute yourself.
yes,
Yes,
Wendy, there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, you are right. And now we can.
There's still background noise.
הנה, ועכשיו? Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay. So what we will do today, so you can hear me well, right? And please let me know if you know. Okay, what we will do today, so we are reading chapter 27. Oh, Yofi, Katrina is joining. So, what happened? Okay, can you see the file? Shalom, Katrina.
Hello.
Oh, good to see you. Can you see the file, the shirt? Yes, just okay. Thank you, Gershom. So now, because this chapter is a little bit complicated, so I wanted to do first a general introduction to it, and then while we will read it, you will have the general idea of the whole chapter, because really all the chapter talks about one particular idea. Now, after that, I hope that I really want to dedicate a few minutes to sum up all what we read in, of course, not in detail, but all what we read in Leviticus, and what is this book for us, and what was what is its importance. So let's say at 8:30, maybe I will let me know if I'm if I don't if I miss it. So just stop me and say this is 8:30, and let's move on to the summary. Okay. So let's read an introduction to the chapter, and then we will go on reading. Yuda, would you like to read? Just unmute yourself.
The purpose of the chapter is to lay the foundations for the financing of the temple and the priests. These expenses included the maintenance of the temple building, obtaining animals and other funding for the sacrificial rites, and the livelihood of the priests and their families. The chapter presents several sources of income, one after the other. First, vows that will be paid according to their financial value in the value of souls. Second, vows for animal donation. Third, dedication of dwellings, estate files, fields, and the purchased fields.
Not exactly, but it's maybe the translation is not very good. Anyway, it's fields. It's dedication of fields.
Yeah. The firstborn of the beasts, Bechor. property dedicated as a boycott, cherem, maaserot. The funding mechanism of the worship was primarily intended to provide money to the priests of the temple, and only then to ensure the fulfillment of current day-to-day needs. It was therefore customary to redeem or convert some of the endowments into money.
Thank you. Okay, and this is from Olam HaTanakh, the encyclopedia that I use quite a lot. So this is after all the laws that we read about the temple and the priests and how we fund everything. What is the sources of the money to activate everything? So here we are going to read it and we'll talk in detail more later. So, Lynn, would you like to read it from 1, 2 to 8?
Okay. Leviticus chapter 27. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man shall clearly utter a vow of persons unto the Lord according to thy valuation, then thy valuation shall be for a male from 20 years old, even unto 60 years old, even thy valuation shall be 50 shekels of silver after the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be a female, then thy valuation shall be 30 shekels. And if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old, then thy valuation shall be for the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. And if it be from a month old, even unto 5 years old, then thy valuation shall be for the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female, thy valuation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And if it be from 60 years old and upward, if it be male, then thy valuation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female, 10 shekels. But if he be too poor for thy valuation, then he shall be set up before the priest, and the priest shall value him. According to the means of him that vowed shall the priest value him.
Thank you. What did you understand from that, from all of that? Apart from the fact that men are valued more than women. That's it. This is not new in the Bible. What did you understand?
According to the Hurt, they're talking about the value of the person's labor.
Exactly.
And because women are not as strong and can't do as much physical labor, their value was less because the value of the labor was less. But other than that, I don't understand any of this. I found this chapter so confusing.
Yes.
What are you talking? My question is, what is this with vowing a person? What does that mean?
Okay. So first, so you are right that it is the value of the labor, and by the way, the question of the differences between men and women is also when the woman gives birth, so she's more in danger. Like no, it's not like today. So it's more pay attention to the ages of every group here. Okay, so in between, for example, 20 to 60 years, this is the main value of the men and less of the women because they give birth and they might be, it's very dangerous and they might be they might die or anything else. And of course, when talking about children, so it is less, and talking about older people, it is less. But
can I ask a question? I find it very interesting that they talk about the grouping of children from 5 to 20. And 20 actually years old is quite an age for in these times, whenever the times were. In fact, you know, we know from history that children from the ages of 13, 14 were already working full time. So where does this demarcation, you know, of 20 come from?
Okay, so this is a good question. And what I know about this is that 20 years old is the age that a boy goes to the army. A boy can fight. This is the age that he and when we have other places in the Bible that are talking about the military force, the size of the military force. It talks about people from the age of 20, men, of course, men from the age of 20 until the age. So I think this is where it comes from. The 20. But what I want to say is, first of all, so as we said, it is the value of labor. And what is the meaning of? Okay, so this is the value of labor, and we understand that there are certain differences. But what is it exactly? So what we are talking here is money to pay the temple or the priest in order to maintain, as we read in the introduction. Now look at the number 2. I marked the word a vow, right? A vow. So when someone had a vow, it was like it's not exactly that. It went something like, if I will have, I will be healthy, or the rain will come, or anything like this, I will pay this and that. Okay, this is one kind of vow that can be found, and maybe we will let's see. So people made vow, and now vows in the ancient period were very, very important. I mean, you couldn't say, it's not only to say something and a few words and that's it. If someone vowed, so it was very, it's like a contract. Okay, now let's see about this word, this vow from other places in the Bible. Gershom, would you like to read here and another verse?
Sure. Bring it back. Yes, there we go. Sacrifices of peace offerings were due for me. This day have I paid my vows. Thou shalt make thy, Job 22, thou shalt make thy prayer unto him, and he will hear thee, and thou shalt pay thy vows.
Okay, and
Ecclesiastes, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou vowest.
Yes, so
we could talk about that a lot.
So just what is, by the way, these 3 books are the books of wisdom this is how they defined in the literature of the Bible. Now, all the 3 books say, if you vowed, you have to pay. You have to pay exactly what you vowed about. Okay, but look what Ecclesiastes says. If you vow, we will not go deep into this verse, but if you vow, try not to vow a lot, because it's complicated. It's hard after which you will have to pay. Try not to. It's like if I take it to our times, try not to take a lot of loans because you will have to pay them back. Okay, this is kind of the same thing. Now, a famous vow that we all know about in Shmuel. Can you, Adina, would you like to read it? Very famous vow of, you know who? Remember? Of Hannah.
Is that the one she went to the temple and she prayed because she wanted a child.
Exactly.
And this was, I'm trying to remember her name, or if they
Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah.
Right.
Yeah. We read this in the Rosh Hashanah in the Haftarah. Yeah. Okay. So.
And she vowed a vow and said, "O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thy handmaid, but wilt give unto thy handmaid a man-child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall be no razor come upon his head." This is Shimshon, right? This is talking about Shimshon.
No, it's not Shimshon.
Her, or, right? Is that who we're talking about? What the baby that she's going to have?
Yeah.
I should continue. Okay. And it came to pass when the time was come about that Hannah conceived and bore a son. Oh, this is Shmuel. And she called his name Samuel, because I have asked him of the Lord. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow.
Wow. So
it's Shmuel, it's not Shmuel. That's a
so here we have two kinds of sacrifices. One is the child himself that Hannah promised, and as we know that if she will bear a child, he will be of God. She will give him to God all his life, for all his life. Right. This is another kind of sacrifice, actually. Okay, and here Elkanah, look what Rashi says about his vow. Okay, it's the same in the same chapter in the same. Rashi says, and his vow, he vowed he swore while at home between the three pilgrimage festivals. He sacrificed on the next pilgrimage festival. Okay, so during all the year, I ask things, I pray, I vow if things will be good to me, everything will be well, everything will go well, and then I have to fulfill this vow. Now, now this you could vow and then give some kind of a beast or an animal, but you could also give it as in the value of money, in its value, but with money. Okay, so it's all kinds of things that you had to pay to the priest. Let's read something in Kings chapter 2, chapter 12, that maybe will be more clear. We put it in a more clear way. Wait, Shalom, don't wait. Would you like to read? I'm not sure she's here. Maybe Adina, can you continue here? These two verses.
Sure. And Yehoash said to the priest, all the money of the hallowed things that is brought into the house of the Lord, in current money, the money of the persons for whom each man is rated, all the money that cometh into any man's heart to bring into the house of the Lord. Let the priest take it to them, every man from him that bestoweth it upon him, and they shall repair the breaches of the house, wheresoever any breach shall be found.
Thank you. So there is two things here. either people had vows and then they had to pay, okay, if the thing went well, but also they had to pay to the priest as their value, according to their value. You understand this point? I mean, it was, think of it as a tax to the maintenance of the temple or the well-being of the priest. A lot of money went there. But and if I go back to the first verses that we read, all this group of ages and this money, sum of money. This was like a tax to you had to pay it. For example, if you have you in your home, okay, where well, you yourself and I don't know 4 women and 20 children, okay, and some other people, some more people. You have to pay the tax according to what is written here. You have to pay the temple accordingly to what the people that live in your house. It's a lot of money, but it is a way or a method to keep the temple going on and to. This is what the priests were living on. Are you what?
It's reminding me of like being in the synagogue in America on Erev Yom Kippur, and you would go and there would be like an envelope with this card inside on everybody's feet, and they asked you to make a pledge, and had these things that were folded down, and you had to like fold the number of the how much money you wanted to pledge to the synagogue, the donation to the synagogue, and they would make speeches, you know, and it was like a pledge that you had to pay money to the synagogue, or sometimes they were asking for money for the building fund. And the building fund was for the upkeep of the buildings, of the synagogue building. And that reminded me of that.
And I thought, for me, it reminded me our May Haver. Every year we have to pay to the synagogue, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, it's not. It's something like that. It's kind of a tax because it is obligatory. It's not only if you want, but you have this, and you have the thing of vow. If you vow, and for example, if you vowed and you didn't want to pay with an animal, you could pay with the value of this animal. Okay, let's continue, and maybe we'll. And by the way, all the chapter goes around this subject. So maybe when we read more, it will be clearer. What would you like to read a little bit? Okay, never mind. Wendy, would you like to read 9 to? I think the feeling is gone. 9 to 13, maybe a little bit more.
Okay. And if it be a beast, whereof men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man giveth of such unto the Lord shall be holy. He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then both it and that for which it is changed shall be holy. And if it be any unclean beast, of which they may not bring an offering unto the Lord, then he shall set the beast before the priest. And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As thou, the priest, valuest it, so shall it be. But if he will indeed redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part thereof unto thy evaluation.
And what is here, if you have a beast that is good to sacrifice, because it has to, remember, it has to have certain, should be without blemish and this and that, certain conditions. So if it's not going to be sacrificed, you can sell it. It's not exactly sell. It's exactly this kind of stuff. You can give it to the priest, and the priest must value it according to, I don't know, if the beast has something bad, or so the price will go down, and etc. And Yet Kodesh, it means that it will be for the temple and the purposes of the temple. This is what it means here. Now, by the way, look at 13. Number 13 is really, it's now, if I pay with my lamp, for example, okay? Now I want this, or buy anything else, I don't know. But I want this piece, I need it. I will have to pay 120% in order to get it back. 120. This is Vayasef Hamishito Alertecha, the fifth part thereof. 13 gives me the possibility to buy it back, but it's not the same. It's not the same price. It's higher. It's very. I mean, the priest knows something about the money. Let's, Wendy, can you read those two verses?
Yes.
This is from Leviticus chapter 5, and we read it. Just I want to remind you something.
If anyone commit a trespass and sin through error in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring his forfeit unto the Lord, a ram without blemish out of the flock, according to thy valuation in silver by shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary for guilt offering.
I'm stopping you here, Stefan, just a minute. This is the thing of what I told you now about. You can give a ram without blemish, but you can also give the value in money if you want. If you don't want to put if you don't want to give the ram, okay? This is
and he shall make restitution for that which he hath done amiss in the holy thing, and shall add the fifth part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering, and he shall be forgiven.
This is about the guilt offering, and we will not go into this again. But so it was mentioned also before in our chapter, but it's all the methodology of maintenance and money, raising money or funding the temple activities. Let's go on. Who didn't read?
Okay, which number?
14 to 21.
Okay.
Just say after.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto the Lord, then the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As the priest shall value it, so shall it stand. And if he that sanctify it will redeem his house, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of thy evaluation unto it, and it shall be his. Continue?
Yeah, until 21.
And 16, and if a man shall sanctify unto the Lord part of the field of his possession, then thy valuation shall be according to the sowing thereof. The sowing of a homer of barley shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. If he sanctified his field from the year of Jubilee, according to thy valuation, it shall stand. But if he sanctify his field after the Jubilee, then the priest shall reckon unto him the money according to the years that remain unto the year of Jubilee, and an abatement shall be made from thy valuation. And if he that sanctified the field will indeed redeem it, then he shall add the 5th part of the money of thy evaluation unto it, and it shall be assured to him. And if he will not redeem the field, or if he has sold the field to another man, shall not be redeemed anymore. Continue.
21.
21:2. But the field, when it goeth out in the Jubilee, shall be holy unto the Lord, as a field devoted, the possession, you have to move it up. There shall be the priests.
Thank you. So again, Ken, Lynn.
I have a question. In very religious communities today, are some of these rules adhered to? I mean, do they still stand? Do the rabbis or stroke priests? I mean, when there's a dispute between people, maybe in agricultural communities or whatever, is any of this used?
We talked about it when we read about the Jubilee year.
Probably when I wasn't here. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So what I know that the Shemitah rules are still, we do in the Rabbanut, does the Shemitah, but not the Jubilee year. The Jubilee year, that they find all kinds of ways to skip it and not to, because the Jubilee year, I remind you, all the loans and the slavery and slaves are going back to the owner, to the original owner. The slaves are going letting free, that's free, and all the loans, the fields, what I had to sell because I didn't have anything else. It comes back to me. Now, here, if did I answer your question? Maybe part of it, because
yes. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the Shemitah I know that we do, and we have on the packages of the vegetables and legumes. We have an indication if it's Shemitah or not. Probably so. But here again, it's likely what we saw before that. We talked about the people themselves, we talked about animals, now the field and the house. So of course we cannot sacrifice the house, right? But we sacrifice the value of the house. This is, for example, 14. And the priest look how important is the duty of the priest and how they must be very honest. And I mean, it's very dangerous here. The priest has to value everything. And probably also this is what I read somewhere, that this was the value that the priest said. This was after which the price of this object in the market. I mean, it was very important what they said or didn't say. And we don't have here, for example, and instructions to the priest, for example, not to share their friends, for example. They have to be very honest. And here, all the verses about the Jubilee year is if I have, for example, 49 until the next Jubilee year, my field will be valued as maximum, as its maximum value, according to the size, according to the maybe to the kind of the land. If I have only 2 years until the Jubilee year, the field will value much less, right? This is what the text says here. Okay? For example, look at 18. Okay, the priest will calculate how what is the value of the field according to the years left. Now, again, I can redeem my field if I want, but I will have to pay 120% in order to get it back. And if but in the Jubilee year, all the fields are going back to their original owners. Okay, it's a bit it's a complicated issue, I think. Now 21 talks about look at this, the word cherem, okay? The field devoted. Okay, so if the field is to be for God, to God, the word that it is field devoted in Hebrew is cherem, it means that I cannot redeem it. I cannot buy it again for myself. It will be forever to the priest. This is the difference. Any comments? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. Shalom, Crystal.
I was eating dinner, so I had it closed. This answers that question I had before, where does the land go if it goes back to God? No, it goes to the priest.
Well,
that makes perfect sense.
The priest is like the representative of God.
It strikes me how much power they had.
Oh, exactly.
Over everything.
Exactly. Exactly. It was very a powerful establishment. And of course, the whole book of Leviticus and other parts also, according to the scholars, was written by, I didn't I will say it really in short because it's a big topic, but there are, according to the scholars, one theory about how the Bible, the Torah was written is by 4 sources, okay? The E, J, P, and D. Never mind now the letters, but P is for priests. So the Leviticus, the book of Leviticus, and part of Exodus and part of the Numbers was written by this source of P. So of course, look how they managed to arrange for themselves very good life, I think. This is what Crystal said. They had an extreme, very high power.
Something else struck me.
Yeah.
What struck me was all the different jobs that they had. Okay, they had to take care of everything in the temple, but the priests were also the public health officials, and now they're the appraisers and the tax assessors. So they have to be doctors and accountants and all kinds of different jobs that they had.
Yeah. but you have to be in the from the Kohanim. Well, there is a debate if it's the family of Aaron or the tribe, the Levite tribe. This is also, but you have to be Kohanim. But you are absolutely right. It is all kinds of qualifications. I mean, the one who knows how to slaughter the animal maybe doesn't know how to value it, or to how to go and value a land, or
I'm sorry to break the rhythm, but could you try muting the people who are not muted, please?
Okay,
there's some interference that might go away.
Can you wait a minute? Now everybody is. Orit, can you mute yourself, please? Otherwise, I have to go stop share and all that. This is you. No. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to 28 until 34. Gershon, Crystal, Gershon, you read, huh? You read? Crystal, you didn't read.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
28, yes, 28 to 34.
Oh, wait a minute, I got a message in front of you. Okay. 28 through what?
Yeah. 34.
Notwithstanding no devoted thing that a man may devote unto the Lord, all of that. He hath probably, whether of man or beast or the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. None devoted, that it may be devoted of men, shall be ransomed. He shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the herd or the flock, whatsoever passes under the rod, the tenth shall be holy unto the Lord. He shall not inquire whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and that for which it is changed shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed. These are the commandments which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai. That's a different ending.
But I would just want to ask here, why in Hebrew the word cherem is translated as devoted? It's completely different.
Okay, so cherem today is something else than cherem in the biblical language, okay, in the biblical Hebrew. Cherem in the biblical Hebrew is to dedicate or to devote everything to God. Now, if I didn't bring here the sources of it because I thought that I didn't have very much time, but if I had that God said to devote him people, it meant death. And we have in the book of Yehoshua, this word appears a lot. It means to kill these people. Okay, and it doesn't mean like today we will not speak with this person or something like that, like Sherem today. And Sherem this is why the translation here is quite correct. It's devoted thing. We devote the thing or the object or the man to God. And if look at number 28, if it is, this is, it's, I don't know, say it's not destiny, but this is its goal, it cannot be sold, it cannot be redeemed, it's Kodesh Kodeshim LaAdonai. Okay? This is, I cannot do all this kind of money issues and trade like before, because this is Sherem, this is holy. And here it's 29 talks about Sherem for people, what you must. because it's like we devoted to God. This is the word. Now about first he talks about the 10th, the 10%, not 10%, but the 10th part. Okay, also so this is for the holy to God. And again, this issue of if I want to buy get it back, I have to buy it in a higher price. Now let's see this. Who says something about the ending, different ending? Crystal, you said it. Something. One of you said something about the ending here.
Well, isn't that a different ending than we've had before?
Well,
have we had this ending before?
Let's talk about this ending, okay? Crystal, this is your issue. Okay, in Leviticus 26, last verse. This is last verse of Leviticus 26, and we will read it. And this is the last verse of our chapter today. So let's compare. Okay, Crystal, can you read?
So do you want me to read?
Yeah.
These are the statutes and ordinances and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. These are the commandments which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai.
Thank you. So here we came to the end of the chapter and the end of the book. And so why do we have an ending? This last verse, the chapter before, in the previous chapter, and again, a very similar but not identical ending to this chapter. And any ideas? It's not that there is a certain answer for that. Okay, it's not that. I will show you that there are all kinds of assumptions. But you were right, Krista, that it is first of all, it's obvious that it is an ending for the chapter, and in our case, it's an ending for the book. Okay, so we have this word in statute and ordinances and laws a few times, and in the sense of commandments. So, you know what, I will show you, this is a nice found. Okay, so there are few possible explanations, okay? Wendy, would you like to read few explanations for that?
Possible explanations. Rabbi Elchanan Samet, in his article for Bachukoti, chapter 27 is indeed an appendix, but it's not possible to precede it with such a chapter because it depends on the laws of Jubilees, and it is not possible to include it in the framework of blessings and curses because these are not high at all.
Yeah, so it can't be before chapter 26 because it depends on the law of Jubilee. And in chapter 26, if you remember, details a lot of curses and all that. It has nothing to do with chapter 27. So they put it afterwards. Let's see, Wendy, can you continue here?
Gordon J. Wenham, in his commentary on Leviticus, page 336, since values and boycotts are the kind of things a person swears in a time of trouble, they were, excuse me, they were inserted after the long affair of curses and troubles of chapter 20. Christoph Niehan, in his book, page 94, chapter 27, deals with the liberation of people or objects from the sanctuary, and thus is a mirror image of the beginning of the book, chapter A, which deals with the dedication of sacrifices to God. The Hebrew Abram, a blogger, The essence of this chapter deals with the value of the individual. Thus, it prepares us to the book of Numbers, which opens with the counting of the people of Israel, emphasizing the unique value of each individual in the total number of the people. Another possibility, it is a common ending of different and separated files of laws that were collected by the editors and put side by side to form the five Pentateuch. Also, it is a completion to the verse in chapter 26:46. Now, I also have a question here.
Yeah.
We talk about the power of the priests. Did God give this power to the priests? Because this is what's happening today, isn't it? The tremendous power of the so-called righteous prophet.
What was the question? Did God give them?
Pardon?
Your question was, did God give them?
Yes.
According to the text, yes. But, I mean, it is in the Torah. Okay? Now, if you believe that God wrote the Torah, so yes, I mean, the answer is pretty clear. If you believe that the Torah, because nobody really knows who wrote the Torah. I mean, it's a question of belief, I think. If you believe, or if you think that the Torah was written by people, then you have the key source of this book. It's obvious that they gave it to themselves. It is, like Crystal said, it is a very powerful job, powerful position in people.
Well, if we, if we obey the rules of the Torah and take it as written by God, it seems strange that he gave such power to such a small group of people, and which is carried on today. We can see it in everyday life.
But you can't make an equivalence between the Kohanim at the time of the temple and the rabbinate today. Two completely different groups, two different establishments. It's not the same. You can't equate one with the other. It's because we're talking about apples and oranges. We're not talking about the same thing. The Kohanim in the time of the temple had certain jobs that they had to do. And certain official functions that they had to carry out. And it was like a hereditary job. But it's not the same thing as the rabbis today.
Well, they seem to think they are, because when we see today, there's a law passed about the Kotel, of having the southern wall ready for non-Orthodox services. And who is now blocking it? The municipality of Jerusalem. And they don't really own the Kotel, but they are now blocking it. And they have to
that's politics.
Yes, but
but it has nothing to do with the functions of the Kohanim.
Yes, but I'm saying that the rabbinate today is taking that power that they had in those times, which they weren't given. So I agree with you.
No politician is given power. They gain power in some way or other. And the rabbinate is very political organization in addition to whatever else they are, but it's also very political. And it's all politics. But it still doesn't have anything to do with the function of the Kohanim at the time in ancient Israel in the temple. It's a completely different kind of situation. I mean, maybe they probably weren't involved in politics also at the time, but you can't make an equivalence. It's not the same thing.
No, I hear what you're saying, it just sounds so similar, you know, to
Yeah,
my
yeah, exactly. It sounds similar, but I totally agree with Adina that we cannot compare this because it's really very two different things. First of all, there was the temple or the Mishkan or the sacrifice and all that. And today it's totally different establishment for the state. So, but I can see your point, Wendy, about the similarities between. And so, what do you think about one of the explanation here? For me, I mean, I really think that there are many files of laws in the Torah, and especially, of course, in the Leviticus, and they were edited or gathered together in a sense that, in a way that will make sense or will, like 27 must come after. I mean, 27 is after 26, but before it was numbered. If you're talking about a law that is connected to the Jubilee, you must be sure that everyone knows what the laws of the Jubilee are. So this is only an issue about the last verse of the two last chapters. Let's move on, and I think I want to start our summary, unless you want to say another thing about this chapter. Okay. So first of all, do you know what is the word Torah? Do you know what is the meaning of this word in Hebrew? Not only the book that we all know. Okay, so Torah in Hebrew, first of all, it's a noun from the root of Yud Reshut, which is a little bit difficult noun because it's a power letter. And the meaning is Hora'ah, for example. It comes from the same root. Okay, Hora'ah, instruction, Moreh, a teacher or a guide. Like we have the book of Maimonides, Moreh Nevuchim, we have Moreh Derech, tour guide. Her'ah, to show something to someone else, like to teach. And another thing that is very interesting about the word is that today we all know that it is religion, right? But that comes from the ancient Persian word for law, for decree. In modern Hebrew, that means religion, but in ancient times it meant law. So the word Torah means law. Very simple. Torah Israel is the law of Israel. Okay? And just to look, I found a few verses that describe maybe the meaning of the word Torah. Because we can, when we translate it into English, it may be laws, maybe decrees, maybe commandments, but Torah also is like something that someone knows very well, the qualification. Like if I know how to, a carpenter knows the Torah of the carpentry. Okay, so let's read these three verses. Gershon, would you like to read it?
Sure. Okay, starting with 18. Exodus 18, when they, wait, I'm confused. Exodus 18 or 16?
18 and 16 is the verse, yes.
16 is the verse. Oh, okay, yes, so I'm sorry. When they have a matter, it cometh unto me, and I judge between a man and his neighbor, and I make them know the statutes of God and his laws.
And in Hebrew, it's Hodati et Chukei Elohim ve'Torah. So Torah is the law, and
Leviticus 13, verse 59. This is the law of the plague of leprosy in a garment of wool or linen or in the warp.
Yeah, you can skip to the.
Okay. Okay, next one, Proverbs 1. Hear, my son, the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the teaching of thy mother.
Okay, here's the teaching, and in Hebrew it will be Shma b'ni mutzar avicha ve'al titosh Torah. So here Torah is teaching, here Torah is law, and also the qualification. Well, it's the law of the slave, the prophecy, and also here. So Leviticus. Now, before I I talk about this, let's move on to really the summary of all the book. So we had actually it's a book of laws. From the beginning till the end, it's a book of laws. So we have between from chapter 1 to 17 laws for religious rituals, sacrifices, the duties of the priest, what to eat and not to eat, laws of religion. Okay, and we know the phrase Ben Adam Lamafon. So I try to color in the same color each topic, maybe each topic of the chapters. So 1 to 5 guidelines and chapters of sacrifices, and 6 and 7 instruction for the priests about preparing the sacrifices, and 8 to 9 is making the priest sacred during seven days, and I mean all the priests and sacrifices issue. Okay. Chapter 10, we know it was the tragedy of Aaron's son, but also, if you think about it, it's also connected to the law of how to act in the Mishkan, in the tent of meeting. Okay, because you remember, they lit a strange fire without being commanded, and they were killed. Chapter 11 until 16 is the laws of nourishment and purity and impurity, and I put it together because nourishment, what is forbidden and what is allowed to eat and not allowed and forbidden to eat, is a question also of impurity and purity. Okay, the seed is considered as impure animal, and this is why it's all the question of impurity and purity in food, in our bodies, in our in sickness, all kind of body secretion, and the atonement, how to atone when someone is impure. How to atone. Chapter 15 is connected to this and talks about Yom Kippur. And again, chapter 17, we talks about where to sacrifice and the prohibition of blood consumption, which is also connected to the green part of the impure and not impure. I mean, if you think about it, the prohibition of blood consumption is also kind of what is the food is forbidden to eat. Now, this is until chapter 17, okay? Now, chapters 18 to 22, which are only 5 chapters, unfortunately, laws of how to behave between people, moral, Ben Adam Lachaver, okay? So we have about incest, the forbidden sexual relationship. We have about this is a chapter that the things there remind us the Decalogue, moral behavior between people, regarded as holy. I mean, this is what we talked a lot about, morality, which is considered as holy. And to remember that there are several times that the verse of I'm holy, so you have to be holy. This is what God said to his people. And again, lots of incest, but here, a partial repetition, but here we have also the punishment if there are indicated here. Okay? And again, laws for keeping purity between people, exactly like in our days, in the Corona time. But the whole thing of the isolation is fixed. Okay, keeping not to spread the diseases. And then in chapters 23 to 26, we have additional laws and punishment for not obeying, maybe the here. We have laws of holidays, okay, laws of Ne'emat Tamid, and what happens to the one who serves God, laws for the Shabbat and for the and Shmita and Jubilee year, and the Jubilee year, and a summary and the reward of or penalties that will follow obedient, non-obedient behavior. If you remember, chapter 26 is full of the prices that we will get in certain behavior, but against the punishment. And we have the chapter that we read today, which is funding resources for all this activity. How to apply all this, all these laws. Just a minute. Yes, and we can say, I mean, it's a pity that, I mean, the moral laws, Ben Adam Lechavero, are 5 chapters. And look how many chapters are from out of 27, we have 5 chapters of moral laws, and all the others are religious and other laws. And one more last thing that I wanted to show is the place of by tribe of Leviticus in the whole 5 Leviticus. So Genesis is a story, right? It's the background of the people of Israel. Our mythology. Exodus is a story of the formation and of the foundation of the people of Israel, and it begins to give us some law, right? Because the Mount Sinai is we will read it on this coming Saturday, the Decade. We have Leviticus, which is almost 100% law, and we have Numbers, which is a continuation of the story, of Israel plus 2 laws, and we have Deuteronomy, a repetition in short. I put a question mark because it's not exactly repetition, but when we get there, we discuss it. It's a summary of the important things in the story and other things. So Leviticus is really the heart of the Torah, the story, the heart. And if you, I don't know if you remember, but the law of the Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha, and love thy brother as yourself, or something like that, Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha, is really in the middle of the middle, like really in the essence or in the heart of the Torah. I think that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, so you have any comments or it's not very, it is an achievement to finish.
I've had trouble hearing. There's a static or echo that is coming from your microphone.
Yes.
Do other people have that problem?
Yes. Yeah, I put it on the chat that there's an echo.
Yeah, it was. Wasn't such an issue at the beginning, but it developed into a stronger issue. It's only from your. So
you couldn't hear all the what I said now. You can.
No, we got a lot of it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know because I can't see the chat while I'm.
Maybe
it got hard to interrupt. So.
Maybe it would help if you got an external mic, another microphone.
Another microphone?
Are you using the microphone in your computer?
Yeah, I'm using the microphone. Yeah, I don't have, I mean, I can, you mean,
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be a headset, but even just a separate microphone that you plug in might do better.
I found a very big difference because at the beginning, when I used Zoom, at the beginning of COVID, nobody could hear me with the thing on the computer. And then I got the headset and it made all the difference.
Oh, good. So I will try. Only, how do you hear me now?
It's not clear. No.
Not clear. Okay, I will try, you know what, just because I had to tell you, something. No.
Now we can't hear you at all.
No.
No, you turn the volume down.
No.
Okay, I will write it to you also in the group, but during February, we will not have our meetings because I have to have exams. I will try to finish my thesis. And so we'll have some kind of a break and we will go back in the beginning of March. Okay? Again, Thursday, 7:30. So, תודה רבה. Thank you very much.
תודה.
בהצלחה.
Thank you. And it was still very interesting.
חזק, חזק ונתחזק.
חזק ונתחזק.
יופי.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Enjoy the break.
Bye.
Shabbat shalom.